I would first like to respond to the proposition's argument regarding time limitations. First, while I agree that designated procedures are important to the integrity of the debate, the initial 15 seconds of my argument was the introduction of the debate topic and introducing myself. Along with this, I would like to quote Professor Schatz, the coordinator of the debate, who sent out an email regarding time limitations on April 20th, 2014, as he states, and I quote, "As a reminder, competitors are allowed up to 30 seconds leeway in speeches," end quote. With this evidence, the procedural argument made by the opposition should be thrown away. Next, first, the opposition states that the propositions lack solidarity in its argument because it lacks a particular time frame. First, neither the proposition nor the opposition is capable of supplying a possible time frame that would lead to the depletion in the number of dolphins slaughtered. Along with this, the opposition fails to offer a time frame himself. Furthermore, the opposition states that the proposition fails to supply a cohesive argument. However, it is clearly stated in the opening argument that the International Court of Justice needs to continue to have more of an active role in abolishing the rights of these Japanese fishing laws by eliminating the loopholes that give way to the further slaughtering of these precious creatures. Many Japanese organizations like JARPA have been ordered by the International Court of Justice to cease any types of whale hunts that were originally being permitted through permits of scientific research, and the United Nations should take advantage of similar methods but focus on the capturing of dolphins, not whales. Next, the opposition states that the decision of the United Nations to end the Taiji whale hunt would be hypocritical because the nations that make up the United Nations are importing these captured dolphins. However, by this reasoning, I will remind the opposition that his counterplan to ban the importation of dolphins is just as hypocritical because, as the opposition has stated, the countries who make up the United Nations are the ones importing dolphins. The decision of the United Nations to end the annual dolphin hunt would not lead to a loss in credibility in promoting environmental values. The United Nations was responsible for ending whale hunts and enforcing the international regulations since 1988, and the United Nations obviously still has control over environmental reform. Next, the opposition has failed to provide citations regarding the effectiveness of the United Nations to implement environmental reform and instances where its counterplan has been effective. So the arguments regarding these topics should be thrown away because I cannot investigate the claims being made by the opposition. Finally, it is the assumption of the proposition that any arguments made that are not discussed should go conceded. The opposition has failed to address the claim made in the opening argument that the New York Times has reported results of tested dolphin meat that found mercury levels ranging from 10 to 100 parts per million, far above the Japanese government's advisory level of 0.4 parts per million. So, if the opposition agrees that the country should stop importing dolphins and concedes that mercury levels of dolphin meat are too high and should not be sold or consumed, then he is agreeing that the areas where Taiji people gain revenue should be banned, eradicating any incentive to fish dolphins in the first place, which is what the proposition argument is. However, the proposition supports that the International Court of Justice should abolish the loopholes taken advantage of by the Taiji fishermen to end the slaughter of these precious creatures.